Welcome back to Road to Doomsday, where I rebuild my entire Marvel Cinematic Universe collection in anticipation for Avengers Doomsday. This is episode 3, and in this episode, you're jumping in at the right time if this is your first episode, because we're going to be talking about the direction of this collection. This is a really pivotal episode. I'm going to need your help on it, because there are so many different ways we could go about doing this collection, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But if you kind of are curious of what we went over in episode 1 and 2, I'll link both of those episodes in the description below. I'll put up some graphics on screen just to show you kind of the rules and the budget. We basically have a budget we got to stay within, and I'm going to be trying to stay within that budget. There's ways I can get more funds. Again, all that different context is in episode 1 and 2 if you're interested in that. I'm sure if you just want to watch this episode, you'll pick up on what we're doing with the graphics and everything. I'll also throw up what characters and what figures I already have and which ones I have on pre-order. There's a few that I had on pre-order before this this challenge set in. So the ones that we've pre-ordered so far, we have Yelena on pre-order and we have Wolverine Deluxe Edition. So those are ones that are already coming out of our budget, and going forward, I can already tell we're definitely going to need some more budget. So this episode though, episode 3, you're jumping in at the right time if this is your first time watching the Road to Doomsday series here on my channel, because we have to figure out where we're going. And you can already see this different, the screen I got up right here. It says Road to Avengers Doomsday, Hot Toys Doomsday, potential figures. If you don't know, Avengers Doomsday is going to be featuring some factions and stuff like that because, you know, from what a lot of people are speculating is Doctor Doom. It's basically going to be kind of how like Infinity War is. Again, this is pure speculation, where we really followed Thanos. Like, it was almost Thanos' movie, and then like he was the driving force behind, like, you know, doing stuff and like trying to, basically taking on the Avengers himself in a way. Doom is going to be similar from what I understand from a narrative standpoint, where he's going to be trying to gather up a bunch of different things. And we got the Avengers, we got different factions because we have a whole lot of stuff. So a lot of speculation going on, but we do have cast announcements. We do have different things that the Avengers Doomsday, the Russo brothers have given us that we can speculate on. But we also need to know where we're going as well, because there's definitely going to be characters in there that haven't been officially announced yet that I totally anticipate being in there. Some of those characters might just show up for a little bit, and they'll be heavily featured in Secret Wars. But we're talking Doomsday right now, and we got to kind of figure out where that's going. So again, you can kind of see the different factions here. We got the Fantastic Four faction. We have the Avengers Squad. Now I have Doctor Doom and Galactus on the Doctor Doom's his own faction. I don't know who's all going to be featured with Doom. I definitely think he's going to be picking up some other characters that's going to be building out his team. But just for the sake of like keeping it all underneath like the Fantastic Four, I'm going to go ahead and put Doctor Doom there. We got the Avengers squad with Sam Wilson. We have the new Avengers. And if we scroll down, we also have the X-Men. And then we have not announced but expected to be in Avengers Doomsday. And right now I only have Star-Lord and Doctor Strange, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So here's the thing. These are basically all the characters that have been announced. If I'm missing a couple, let me know in the comments below. But these are the ones that have been announced so far officially. And we're going to speculate on some other characters like, Loki, like Deadpool, Wolverine. I just don't know where they're going to fit faction-wise, or if they're just going to be featured more in Secret Wars, so we'll see. But I definitely think that those characters are going to be featured heavily. But we're going to speculate this because we got to figure out where this collection's going. And we got to figure out what path we're going to take. And this is a pivotal episode because I think that we have to come up with a plan right now. And I have to figure out what I'm really wanting to do, because we're obviously going to be getting some nostalgic stuff probably next year, I would assume. I'm anticipating we're getting some Avengers 2.0s, but I've been saying that for a year or two now, and we still haven't gotten them. We get some, stuff like, in-game figures that still get announced. We get we get the Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier stuff. So I don't know if it's specifically going to be Avengers 2.0 stuff or not, but I'm anticipating we get characters like maybe a 2.0 of a classic Thor. We get a 2.0 of maybe even a Hawkeye or something. I don't know. We'll see. We know we're going to get plenty more Iron Man figures, probably some more Captain America figures because of the new sculpt they're working with. You just never know with Hot Toys. It's very tough to predict with Hot Toys. They are very random at times, but I do think with Doomsday on the horizon, we're going to be getting a lot of different stuff. So let's go over this real quick, and we're just going to take a look at the screen. This is basically just saying, like, is there a figure available, or is there something on pre-order right now for that character? Doesn't have to be the Doomsday character. It's just basically saying, is there a character available of that, or is there a figure available or on pre-order for that character right now? You can already see I've already answered that yes, no, yes, no. And then here, while we go down our list, I'm going to give you what I think is the percentage chance to get a Doomsday figure. Again, Hot Toys is very random, Marvel has hit a I still think it sells extremely well, but I think that certain characters, it wasn't back when like, Infinity War and Endgame were coming out where they pretty much were just going to give you every single character, because that the height of the popularity of that was just insane. But now I think people are getting, once the first Doomsday trailer hits, I think there's going to be this feeling of like, okay, man, this is very interesting, And so I'm hoping for that because I'm super excited about it. We also got to talk about Brand New Day. We haven't discussed that yet. I had a great comment basically saying like, hey, don't forget Brand New Day in July. So we're going to be talking about that again because Spider-Man, Punisher, even though I don't see them in Doomsday, I think they're going to save them for Secret Wars, because they're going to have that lead-in movie to that. So July, we're going to be getting Brand New Day. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. But right now, let's just talk about this. So we're going to go down the list, and I'm going to give you the percentage chance of getting a Doomsday figure. And we're going to kind of talk, while we're doing that, we're going to kind of talk about what direction we're going in, because we have some different directions here, okay? Obviously, if they announce all the Avenger 2.0s, I'm going to have to really figure out what I'm going to do there, because that's a must-have for me. The original Avenger, the 2012 Avengers, is still my favorite MCU movie of all time. I love that movie. I would love to get 2.0s of the original 6 characters. I really feel like I'd be okay with the Iron Man and Captain America I have right now that represent that movie. They would have to really have something just insane for me to upgrade those. So I would really need 4, Hulk, I would need Hawkeye, I would need Black Widow, and I would need Thor. If they did a Nick Fury, I'm all over that as well. But we're in an interesting spot here because we have different options we can go. And so while we can speculate if we're going to get stuff from older movies, we're kind of looking forward to like, what can we expect? What path should we start doing now to make sure that we have room in our budget and we have room in the shelf space for this Avengers Doomsday Squad or these Avengers characters? There's obviously a route where you can just get miscellaneous stuff. Like we could just get whatever character we want, and that's just our MCU display. That's totally a valid option. I kind of enjoy building out like a team or building out a faction or building out like a slice of the MCU, or like I'm trying to get creative with how I'm going to show off like different characters. Like I don't feel like I got to get every single character in this faction or every single character in this team. Of course, when you have the Fantastic Four, you have the Guardians. It's tough not to get every single piece. But anyway, let's go over this real quick. So basically, like I said, factions are how I think the narrative is going to unfold in Avengers Doomsday. I think there's going to be different segments of like where these characters are. I think they're going to intersect at some point, but you're going to kind of like you saw with Infinity War, you had those different factions, had those different teams. I think we're going to get a similar type of narrative style. If not, then cool, then we'll figure it out. But this is a way for me to kind of keep it filtered and to keep it like to make sense of like, okay, here's what could potentially be a version of like my Doomsday shelf. I have this faction over here. I don't have to get every single character they announce. Who can I get now? Who can I wait on? And we'll go over that. So let's start off with the Fantastic Four, because obviously the Fantastic Four is the latest Marvel movie we got. It has a huge connection with Doctor Doom, obviously. And I think that the Fantastic Four are going to play a huge role in the major narrative. I said in the previous episode, there's like 5 or 6 characters that I think are going to play a pivotal role. I think everybody's going to have screen time, but some people will have more screen time than others. I definitely see the Fantastic Four, especially Reed and Sue, having a lot more screen time than some of the other characters on this list. I definitely think the Avengers Squad as well is going to have some big moments as well. So let's start with Mr. Fantastic. So right now we have a Mr. Fantastic up on pre-order. Fantastic Four, is there a figure available or is there a pre-order available for that character? Yes, here it is right here. This is the Pedro Pascal Fantastic Four, the Reed Richards, and this is the special edition you get with Herbie here. And do I think that there's going to be a Doomsday figure for this character? This is really interesting because I do think they're going to play a huge role in the narrative. I do think they're going to get new costumes. And so I definitely do think that we're going to get I definitely do personally think that we are going to be getting let me move this down real quick. Another version of that character. I definitely think we will. And the reason being is because they already got the sculpt. They already got the body. They already got the suit. I don't think the suit's going to be drastically different, but all if they have to do is do a new suit and they can give you another figure, I definitely think they will. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that for every single member of the Fantastic Four, because again, I don't know. We got to really speculate, like, how many announcements are they actually going to do from the movie? What characters are they really going to focus on? So for me right here, I'm probably going to say, percentage-wise, this is tough, man. This is really tough. But I'm thinking chances of a Doomsday figure are probably going to be. Let's just go for this one. Let's go 65 let's go 70%. Let's go 70%. The reason being is, like, part of me thinks that they're for sure going to do another Mr. Fantastic. I mean, it's Pedro Pascal, it's Reed Richards. He's going to play a huge role. I mean, it is Doctor Doom. Like, they're going to be heavily featured. In fact, the more I'm talking about, let's bump this up to 75%. The only thing that I'm wondering if Hot Toys, because again, Hot Toys is very random with what they're going to announce and everything else, is like, depending on what other characters we get, and we can kind of see all the different characters we got right here, like, there's potential that, you know, they go a different route. They just focus on a few different characters, see how those sell, and then they announce down the line. But I think for sure there's a very good chance we get another Mr. Fantastic, which is going to be very interesting because this is solely dependent on if there's a new suit. If their suits are similar or are not very much different and they're pretty much the same, I definitely don't see this happening. I could definitely see them going a different version where they maybe have a civilian Reed Richards or something. So I think this character for sure has potential. And for Invisible Woman, we're going to go 75% as well. And the only reason I'm saying that is there's ways to do those two characters where, again, is it going to sell if they're in civilian clothes? Probably not, but could they throw in a lab coat for Reed? Yes. Could they throw in something for Sue? Yes. Do I think that if somebody orders the Fantastic Four versions, they're necessarily going to want to have to go out and get the version of the Doomsday figure? Now that I'm thinking about it, I would probably say no. I don't know how those would sell. But the thing that keeps pushing me towards them doing it is because I think there's going to be a huge narrative arc around Franklin Richards, around Doctor Doom, with those two characters. And it's just hard for me to think that they won't take advantage of that. And they already have the sculpts. They already have it. It'd be an easy figure for them to produce. So we're going to stick with 75%. It is going to be strange because we're getting a Human Torch. And even though I think Human Torch is going to, like, you could probably say, like, well, why wouldn't they do Human Torch as well? That's a good question. I'm not sure. And that's the trouble with, like, a team. It's like you just never know. But we've seen Hot Toys before give us characters from a team and not give us the other versions. So Human Torch, I think, is way less likely. We're going to go 20% on Human Torch. All these are up on pre-order, by the way. Human Torch, I think, is 20%. Thing, I think, is 20%. Now, again, there's a thought process here that's like, well, if they already have all this stuff, why don't they just bring them out? Really depends on how that Fantastic Four team sells for Hot Toys as well. I do think the closer we get to Doomsday, I do think the more footage we see of Doomsday, we're going to get a clearer idea of who's going to be playing a bigger role in that. And we're going to get a clearer idea of what the teams are going to be. We're going to get a clearer idea if they have new costumes or not. So again, we could come back to this, but this 75% for Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman is solely dependent on if they have new outfits in the in Doomsday, which I'm anticipating they will, to be perfectly honest with you. It's just a way to sell more toys, man. I mean, you got to think about that with these movies. A lot of these decisions get made because they want to sell more merchandise. They want to sell more toys. And if they have the same exact costume, that's less toys they get to sell because people like you and me are going to say, well, we really don't need that. That's not. Now, Hot Toys is even more interesting because the figures are so expensive that there really has to be like a big difference between. I mean, some people are just going to collect because they love the character and that's the only thing they collect and they just want to kind of have every version of the character. But for a lot of collectors, I think these suits would have to be massively different. There would have to be upgrades somewhere that have to be like deluxe bases or something. So again, 75% might be a little high just because we already have these ones on pre-order. But we've seen a bunch, man. We see how many characters we have on pre-order already, multiple versions of different characters. So we're going to stick with 75% for Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman only because of the potential of the narrative where they're going to play a huge role in Doomsday, which I'm anticipating. We had Galactus on here. Look, there's 0% chance we're getting another Galactus. I just wanted to put him on here because I think he might end up coming up in the movie at some point. I'm not sure. He might have a little small role in there, and there is a figure that you can pre-order right now. Doctor Doom, let's be real. There's no figure available at pre-order. Yes, there's that Marvel Doctor Doom, and I'm talking about an MCU Doctor Doom with the Downey Jr. head sculpt. This is 1,000% happening. This is 1,000% happening, okay? we're going to get multiple Doctor Dooms, I think. I think we're going to get multiple Doctor Dooms from Doomsday, from Secret Wars, just like they did with Thanos. They gave us the Thanos from Infinity War, then they gave us the Thanos from Endgame. And I think Doom's going to get the same treatment. I think we're going to get potentially 2 Dooms from this movie, just like they did with Wolverine, where Wolverine had the TVA jacket. There's going to be one announced when the movie comes out, and then there's going to be one announced later on when the movie's been out for a little while, once like they don't have to worry about spoilers. So I definitely think we're going to get a Doctor Doom, like the main Doctor Doom figure, and then I think we're going to get like a variant type figure, kind of like Wolverine had with the TVA jacket. So I'm thinking 1,000% we're getting at least one Doom. This is the for surest bet in all of collecting. We're gonna get plenty of Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Dooms. I'm anticipating we get 2 from the movie. Now Franklin Richards, normally I'd say there's no chance, because Hot Toys normally doesn't make figures like that are like kids or like young adult like kind of characters. I don't know how old Franklin's gonna be in this movie. He's still gonna be probably like a single digit age. So there's more than likely they're probably not gonna make this. But I think potentially he could end up with Sue in like kind of like how they did Groot and Rocket for a lot of those Guardians movies. They comboed them together. I think they're gonna combo Franklin with somebody. Franklin's gonna play a massive role in this movie. We already saw that they featured the baby in the pre-orders for Sue. So you can get the Sue figure, and if you get the deluxe exclusive or whatever, baby Franklin Richards is there. So if they're going to make a baby Franklin Richards, I think they're for sure going to make a Franklin Richards kid version. And so that's for sure happening, I think. But I don't know if it's going to be a standalone figure. I don't think it will be a standalone figure. I think it's going to be comboed with Sue as a way to sell Sue again. And that's what we talked about. That's how they're going to get creative with it. So I'm going to, if this counts as like chances for a Doomsday figure, and we're going to count if he's comboed, I'm going to say I'm going to go 80%. I really think they're going to figure out a way to do that. The reason I say that is because they had the baby Franklin Richards as like, an accessory piece to that. We just saw how Kidpool got his own figure. So now I'm wondering if he will get his own figure. Let's go 85%. It's either going to be his own figure altogether, or it's going to be associated with Sue. I really think this is a good possibility. I think Franklin plays a massive role in Doomsday. So that's kind of our Fantastic Four section there. Those are chances for Doomsday figures. Now, we got to switch gears, because this is all part of like, do we think we're going to get figures? Do we think we're going to go this route? And so we got to look at this, because the reason we're doing percentage chances on this is because we got to wonder, like, okay, what is available that we maybe need to pick up now, because these figures might be sold out, or these figures might be more, people might want them more once they are building out a Doomsday team for Hot Toys, whatever. We don't want to give it a FOMO. We don't want to buy backwards a bunch. We don't want to just order something just because we think it might sell out. We really want to be strategic about what team we're going to build. So let me know in the comments below, like, what are you feeling about the Fantastic Four characters? Are we going to just get the Fantastic Four characters, or are we going to get another one from the Avengers Doomsday? Let me know in the comments below what you think. So that's one area we could go with the collection, is we could go a Fantastic Four, Doomsday, Secret Wars route, where we really heavily feature, build around Doctor Doom in a way. We kind of build around Doctor Doom, because let's be honest, we're going to get a Doom no matter what. Like, Doctor Doom, to me, if you're building a Doomsday collection, you're kind of doing the road to Doomsday. We know we're going to get a Doctor Doom. So do we build that? Does it make sense to have a Doctor Doom but not the Fantastic Four? Can we get away with maybe just having Reed Richards? Can we get away with just having Reed and Sue? But what if we really want the Thing? Like, you see how it's tough. Like, you almost gotta collect the whole team to make that make sense. So that's a route we could go, as a Fantastic Four route, in building around Doctor Doom. Another route we could go is Avengers Squad. Okay, we can go Avengers Squad here, and the cool thing about Avengers Squad is we got Captain America Sam Wilson. I think Sam Wilson's going to be a huge part of Doomsday. But I'm going to go 50% here. And the only reason being is because his last figure sold really well. You know what? We're going 60%. His last figure sold so well, man. It sold out. And his one from Falcon and Winter Soldier Not as much. I think they made way less of this Captain America one. Let's see how much they make of a Doomsday one. But I think there's a 60% chance. I mean, they got the new Anthony Mackie head sculpt. It's Captain America. The only reason this isn't higher is because I wonder when they went and postponed the movie, like they kind of pushed the movie back. I am thinking they found a way to integrate more of like the Deadpool Wolverine movie into the narrative than they initially had, where it was going to be led by Captain America and all that stuff. I still think that's going to be there, but with Thunderbolts and Brave New World kind of underperforming at the box office, maybe they're going to feature other characters more than these characters were originally planned for. But it's Captain America. You know, that character just has so much weight to it, and those figures look amazing. They do a really good job with those. So I definitely think there's a 60% chance, but do I think that we could get the one from Brave New World and be fine? Yes, and that's an option for us. That's an option that we can maybe look at. I definitely think Sam Wilson needs to be in the collection at some point, because I think he's going to be playing a huge role in this, but, you know, we got to think about it. And he's got one available, like we just said. So Falcon with Joaquin Torres doesn't have a figure. Do I think he gets one for Doomsday? I do not. I think it's a 15% likelihood. The only reason I'm giving it 15% is because it would be cool to have a Falcon next to Captain America, but to have a standalone Falcon from Doomsday just does not seem likely to me with all the other characters they're going to have to service. And yeah, we got Ant-Man. All right. And this is just speculation of who I think the Avengers squad could be based on, like, you know, the cast list, based on who's been announced already. Ant-Man's a character that I think sells decently well for Hot Toys. I think the Quantumania one sold okay. I still see him widely available. Doesn't really hold his price too well. Unless Ant-Man plays a huge part in this, unless they really decide to give us an essential Paul Rudd sculpt, which I'm still waiting on, I don't see this happening either. We're going to go 15% for Ant-Man. And that pains me, because I would love to see a great Ant-Man figure with a great Paul Rudd sculpt. Shang-Chi, on the other hand, there is one available. I do think we get another Shang-Chi potentially, but that other one's just so good, man. Unless he's got like this insane costume for this one. We're going to go 30% here. We're going to go 30% because I just think that there's potential for that, but I just don't know, man. That the Shang-Chi is like still available, and it's still just sitting there at, like, they're pretty much trying to get rid of it. And so I don't know, man. I'm just seeing it at 30%. Black Panther Shuri, again, I'm going to say 30% here as well, because again, I don't know how well that I still see this one widely available on Sideshow and stuff. And again, they were making more figures at the time. But you just, you know, you got to keep that in mind with who they're going to decide on. M'Baku, that'd be cool to finally get an M'Baku. I don't see this happening at all. I'm going 5% though. I just don't see M'Baku. If he hasn't gotten one yet, I just don't know if he's going to. And we got Thor. I think for sure we're getting a Thor. We're for sure getting a Thor from Doomsday. That's a for sure character. That's just a massive character. And one that we haven't seen a figure from in a while since Love and Thunder. That's for sure happening. Kate Bishop, with the popularity of Haley Steinfeld right now, she's been, you know, confirmed that she's going to be in Doomsday. I think there's a strong possibility. I think there's a strong possibility that we get a Kate Bishop. So if we kind of look at this, we got Captain America. You know, I'm gonna up Captain America to 70. That's Captain America, man. I definitely think he plays a huge role. This is the Avengers squad. They've mentioned him in the post-credit scenes of Thunderbolts, that, like, you know, that's the true Avengers squad. And then we got new Avengers that we're going to get to here in a second. So we're going Captain America, Sam Wilson, 70%, only because I'm not sure how different the costume's going to be. And if it's very similar, you know, I definitely see Hot Toys potentially doing that. But we're going to stick with 75%, or we're going to stick with 70%. Falcon, 15%. Ant-Man, that feels wrong. Ant-Man has a higher percentage. So let's go 10% here, and then let's bump Ant-Man up to 20. Let's bump Ant-Man up to 25. Because if Ant-Man plays a big role in this, and they really haven't given us the essential Ant-Man yet, I would like to see a great Rudd sculpt. Shang-Chi, we're going to actually bump up to 40 now that I'm thinking about it. Because I do think that there's potential that character... No, we're going to stay at 30. We're going to stay at 30. We're going to stay at 30 because I just don't know, man. That figure is still widely available. I don't know how much different they're going to go from the costume or the outfit there. The toys from Shang-Chi didn't sell extremely well. And I'm not talking about just Hot Toys. I'm talking about across the board. Same with Black Panther 2. Shuri, that figure that's out right now, I just think is a great figure, and it's still available. I don't really see them going in this direction. So we're actually going to knock this down to 25% just because, again, there's speculation that they're going to recast Black Panther. So they might just wait until there's a new Black Panther actor to kind of switch gears. Once that happens, we're for sure going to keep getting them. But the fact that Shuri is still widely available, I don't know how much different her Black Panther suit would look in Doomsday. I don't know how big of a role she's going to play in Doomsday. So we'll just see. Same for M'Baku. I mean, I got 5% just because there's hope that like that'd be really cool to see an M'Baku figure. I just don't see it happening. Thor is 100%. I mean, it's Thor, man. And then Kate Bishop, 80%, just because of the popularity of Haley Steinfeld over the years. That figure, whether you thought it was a good figure or not, that figure from Hawkeye could definitely improve on the head sculpt front. And I just think that Kate Bishop's a character that could have a big future ahead of her with the Avengers. So that's definitely a character that, and again, I do think Hawkeye shows up in Doomsday at some point. If not, he'll be in Secret Wars. I do think we potentially get another Hawkeye. But let's switch gears over to the new Avengers real quick. We're going to go through this one pretty quick because we've had videos on the channel talking about, are we going to get more of these characters or not? We got Bucky. There's plenty of Buckys, but there's not a technically new Avengers Bucky. So percentage chance, just because they got the new head sculpt for Sebastian Stan with that new 2.0 of Winter Soldier, I actually think there's a 70% chance we get a new Bucky from this movie. They got the new head sculpt. I think Bucky plays I don't know how much he's going to be in the movie, but I think he plays a big role. I just got a hunch that he's going to be, it's one of the original guys. And I think they're going to do service to that character, regardless if he's in it for 5 minutes or, 20 minutes, however long. Ghost, I just think there's a 5% chance. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Yelena, I definitely think we get another Yelena. Now, here's the thing. The Thunderbolts Yelena is on pre-order right now. It looks really good. It's a figure that I definitely think we have pre-ordered because we're anticipating. I don't know how much different her suit's going to be in Doomsday. We saw at the post-credit scene, it looks a little bit different. She has the new event or the Avengers logo on one of her sleeves. There is some differences there, but there's that Yelena from Thunderbolts. That's the only character we're getting from Thunderbolts / New Avengers. How well is that going to sell? I'm not sure. Her last figure did not I don't know the actual numbers, but it just was available for a long time, and it was going on sale all the time. So is this a character that's really going to get another? I think she plays a big role in the movie, and so you got to weigh that out. Like if she plays a big role in the movie, there's potential they get a figure. But with that one being so close, it's kind of the same thing with the Fantastic Four. Like they already got everything they need to just make another one, but how different is her outfit going to be? I'm going to go 50%. And that's solely because I think they're really trying to make Yelena a big part of the MCU going forward. And I think she's going to play a big role in this. And then we'll see what happens. But I'm going to say 50%, man. And that feels a little high, but we're going to stick with it. Red Guardian, I don't think it's happening, man. I don't think we're getting, sadly, I just don't think if we didn't get a Red Guardian from Thunderbolts with all the promotion they did of that movie and all the, we had a lot of promotion with his character and with the limo service and everything. I just don't see this happening personally. John Walker, listen, I'm going to give this a higher percentage than it needs because I'm desperately wanting a John Walker. I think there is potential for this character to be a great character in the MCU going forward. I hope they utilize him well. I don't see him having a ton of screen time in Doomsday, but I think if they use him well for this going forward, it could be a great character. I already think he's a great character. I love the costume. The bended shield would look amazing. The new beret that he's got at the end of Doomsday. Just look up Doomsday Thunderbolts post-credit scene, and you'll kind of see the new costume. I personally want a John Walker. I think it's possible. Wyatt Russell, while not, a household name by any means, I think he's definitely a guy that his career could keep getting bigger. Man, we're going to go 40% with John Walker, man. I think there's potential here. I think there's potential with this character. I think his costume is so cool that would be a fun challenge for Hot Toys with the bended shield, the beret. I think it could be a great figure for this movie. So we're going to go 40. That definitely seems high. It's not going to happen more than likely, but we're trying to wish this into existence. And then we got Bob Sentry. Let's go 40 for Bob Sentry as well, because again, I think that Sentry could play a huge role. And they've already teased that they were going to make the Thunderbolts team, and then all they did was announce Yelena. So maybe they started on it and they said, you know what, we'll just release this with Doomsday. Maybe it'll sell better under the Doomsday banner. Who knows? So before we get to the X-Men, because we're going to close out with the X-Men, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Deadpool, Wolverine, and stuff like that, which I call Team TVA, okay? So you can kind of see the different ways we can go about this. Do we... I don't think we're going to get enough new Avengers to where we can build out a new Avengers faction. But the direction that this is going is either going to have to be... We're going to go pure nostalgia. When we start getting 2.0s, we just buy stuff where they do 2.0s of like early phase MCU. That's a path we can take. And that's a path that we'll look at if we start getting those announcements. As of right now, this is pure speculation, but Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom seem like the safest bet that we could go down, because we know we're going to get all four of those team members at least. It's very rare that Hot Toys finishes a whole team nowadays. So we get that. We know Doctor Doom's going to play a huge role in both Doomsday and Secret Wars. So why not? Why not pick up, Doomsday will be the Doom movie though. That will be the Doom movie. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much past that. Who knows what they're going to do with Secret Wars. But Doomsday will be a big time movie. Robert Downey Jr. will have the most screen time. We're for sure going to get Doom. We got the Wolverine. We got the Yelena on pre-order. So that's who we... So Doom, I'm already like... I can't add to the team because he hasn't been announced yet. But like... And that he won't be announced for like at least another year, because they got to wait till the movie actually like probably comes out. So you can see the dilemma. It's like... with our budget constraints and with everything, I mean, I could sell stuff to get more so we could build more around it. But this is our kind of constraint right here, is like we got to figure out a way to kind of build a really cool Doomsday team, but also build out the Marvel Cinematic Universe display we want. And then we got the X-Men. And again, these characters have been confirmed that they are going to be in the movie. Professor X. I think that Hot Toys is about to go crazy with the X-Men. So I think that this is a good route as well, because I think the Mutant Saga is going to be coming out after Secret Wars. I think they're really going to focus on Mutant Saga. Same director that did Thunderbolts / New Avengers is going to be taking over the X-Men movie. Professor X, I think, is a 90% chance. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about Magneto as well at 90%. We got 90% on Magneto and Professor X. I think it's time. They finally can do it. It used to be Fox. They now got this is the time to do a Ian McKellen Magneto and a Professor X. Would it be okay with me if they did it from any movie? Yeah, it'd be great. We're going to get the versions from Doomsday, though. I just think they're going to be in the movie. I think the Mutant Saga, I don't know how long they're going to be in it. I do think they're going to be in it quite a bit. I think they're at least going to play a big role in it. We might see Avengers versus X-Men down the line. Regardless, I think this is the time, if they're going to do it, they get a Patrick Stewart Professor X and we get a Ian McKellen Magneto. I'm going 90%. I think they're about to go crazy with the X-Men license. Think about it. Hot Toys has been able to make all these characters. What's going to excite Hot Toys as a company? They also got to think about sales. But what's really selling well right now? X-Men 97 did really well. We see Mondo doing a lot of X-Men animated series. Those sell really well. This is their chance to do X-Men, and I think they're going to do a great job with it. Beast. We're going 80% on Beast, because I think that they're really going to give us these characters. I think Beast plays a big role. Nightcrawler, a little bit less, but I could see it happening at 50%. And then Cyclops, James Marsden Cyclops. I got to see this character as a hot toy. Would be incredible. We're going to go 60%. And then with Mystique, I think this would be an incredible, incredible character. We're going to go 60% here as well. So I think that there's potential for all of these. I really do. I think that there's a really, really good likelihood that we get all those characters, just because it's the first time they can actually make X-Men characters. And so that really is going to be big. And plus, with the way Marvel's going, I think they're going to really be focusing on the X-Men in general. And then we got down here real quickly, not announced, but expected to be in. Again, I just put these two down here because I definitely have been hearing speculation that we could get Star-Lord, we could get Doctor Strange. So those are two new figures that we could get. We're not going to put a percentage there. This list could go on with She-Hulk, Hulk, all these different things. We're going to save that for future episodes, because we kind of got to get a little bit more where it's just not speculation. I kind of wanted to just stick to stuff that was confirmed. And so that's how we have it right here. So that's where our potential figures could go. In order to kind of know where we're headed, we got to kind of anticipate the percentage chance. So based on these percentages, I know you're going to have different ones. So let me know in the comments below kind of what you're thinking. But based on everything we know so far, we're on episode 3. We got plenty of time for this. All right, it's the road to Doomsday. There's going to be a lot more speculation going forward. But I wanted to at least right now have a kind of a loose understanding of like where I'm going to be going with the collection, because these are potential. In terms of budget and everything, I could make it work by selling some stuff, getting more stuff. There's other ways. There's other things coming up, by the way, that I'm going to be able to get more budget. And there's going to be a lot of creative ways we're doing this throughout the show, and I'll be bringing that up as it comes up. But as of right now, we kind of know what our budget is. We kind of know what we have allotted to it, and we kind of know what our collection kind of looks like right now. There's potential for 2.0s, all this stuff. So just based on like if we were just to do a Doomsday team or build up a collection in anticipation for Doomsday, you know, you look at like a Shang-Chi, Black Panther, we got those figures right now for a good price. We can start building out that team. Captain America would be the big one. So again, we could have Doom, and then we could have the Avengers squad. We could have Doom, and then we could have New Avengers. We could have Doom, we could have Fantastic Four. Then we got the X-Men. So it's going to be really difficult to figure that out, and that's kind of why I need y'all's help. So I'm going to be putting a poll in after this video as well, but I want to hear your comments first, and I want to hear your reasoning. Just based on these factions, and keep in mind the 2.0 issue we talked about with the Avengers, like if that comes up, that's going to have to almost be a must, right? But what do you think is the best like route so far, as based on the knowledge we have right now, based on not even having an Avengers Doomsday trailer, based on we're a year out from even getting any type of announcements, I mean more than a year out from getting any type of announcements, what can we be doing right now in anticipation? Do we kind of build out earlier phase? Do we kind of start building out some teams so that way when we add other figures to it, we kind of are already building our own team? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Maybe you're somebody who just thinks I should pick pieces up from every character I like. Maybe you're somebody that's like, hey, this would be fun to build out a Fantastic Four team. Maybe it's more fun to build out an X-Men team. So let's be talking about that in the comments below. I definitely want to hear from you. Based on this, what direction, if it was up to you, would we take this collection, and how are we going to present it, and how are we going to display it, and everything else? I definitely want to get your opinion. That's definitely going to weigh into my decision making. The subscriber or viewer portion of this is a big part of it, so definitely let me know that. It's definitely going to be carrying weight with the decisions we make along the way. And that's what we have for episode 3, man. I just wanted to get on here and do a lot of speculation. We will have a video where I do my predictions for 2026, Hot Toys predictions. Be looking out for that. That'll be coming up very soon. I'm not sure if that's going to be Road to Doomsday or not, but it'll be associated with it because it's going to be I'll probably do a Marvel one, might do a Star Wars one. We'll see, but I'm definitely going to make my predictions for 2026. The funny thing is about Doomsday, though, it's not like it comes out in May. It comes out in December. We get Brand New Day in July. We definitely know we're getting some Spider-Man, some Punisher from there. So we got to kind of keep that into account as well. We're definitely going to get another Tom Holland Spider-Man from that movie. We're definitely going to get a John Bernthal Punisher. So how does that fit into our collection as well? That's Road to Doomsday. That movie is on the road to Doomsday. So do we go that route? So let me know in the comments below what you're thinking. I would love to hear from you. And I really appreciate you watching and being on this journey, on this series. We're just getting started with this, man. It's a great time to jump in on the road to Doomsday so you can follow along the journey, follow along how I'm rebuilding my entire MCU collection in anticipation for Avengers Doomsday. And I'm excited. Really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.